morning, my grade 10s. Last week, Friday, we had a look at the introductory lesson of simple interest to do with finance. And today we're going to have a look at hire purchases. Let's have a look. What is the hire purchase agreement? I know that some of you might know the term lay-by. If you sometimes when you walk into PEP, you will see that they say lay-bys on offer or lay-bys accepted. So how that works is you do not pay any interest on the lay-by, but you go into the shop and you say, I love this shirt, but I do not have the cash to pay for it immediately. So then let's say the shirt was 200 Rand. So every day you go in and you bring whatever money you've got. So let's say this month, you've got 50 Rand to pay towards the shirt or the dress or whatever I said. Then you take it in and you put it down on the counter, and then they take it as one of your little payments paid towards owning this shirt or this dress. And the next month you bring 100 Rand, and the month after that you bring another 50 Rand. So with that, it's lay-by. So you pay it off before you take the item. All right. With hire purchases is you cannot wait. You do not want to just pay it off and then only get the product. So you want to buy the product, you want to take it immediately and pay it off afterwards. All right, but you can't just do that. The people are taking a risk at giving you the things. So you have to sign a contract with the people to say that, all right, I will pay this off over so many months, and you have to show them your salary slip, etc., etc. Okay, to get approved for this hire purchase agreement. But very important with a hire purchase agreement is you have to put down some sort of deposit. You have to put down a deposit of whatever they say, maybe 10%, maybe 20%. So you pay something towards that. So they've got some sort of guarantee that you are invested into this product that you are taking. Sometimes it's TVs, it's beds, it's fridges, things that you don't have the money immediately available, but you can pay it off monthly, bit by bit, but you want it immediately. Different to lay-by. Lay-by is you pay it off first, then you can take the item home. They do not charge you any interest on that because there's no risk involved. I mean, if you just don't return, they've just won, and they still have their product and they've got some of your money. But with hire purchase, they're taking out a risk. They're giving you the product beforehand, and you need to pay it off over 2 years or 3 years or whatever the hire purchase agreement is. Okay, so like I said, you have to pay down a deposit, and then the rest of the money you have to pay off monthly. But in Mathslit, they tell you what you need to pay off monthly. So you do not have to work it out. They tell you. And let's quickly have a look at an example together. All right, Claudia moved into a new flat when she started with her first year at university. She did not have enough money to buy cash, so she decided to purchase the bed on a hire purchase agreement. The agreement looked as follows. Okay, please take note that she had the option to pay it cash. Cash, it would have been 10,500 Rand, but she doesn't have 10,500 Rand. She's going to do it via the hire purchase agreement. So the store says she has to pay a 10% deposit. Thereafter, she will have to pay back 500 Rand a month for 2 years. So lots of people don't even know how to calculate what is the actual amount they're paying towards the bed. They just say, 500 Rand a month sounds doable, I'm going to do it. And little did they know that they actually paid way more than just the original cash price. Obviously, whatever they paid more was the interest. So the first question would be, calculate the deposit amount payable. Only the deposit. What is the deposit? It's 10%. 10% of what? Always of the cash price. So 10% of 10,500 Rand is 1,050. So that is what she has to pay up front. She has to put that down. That is her sort of what do you call it? Their little part that she is invested in this agreement. So she has to pay that up front, and then the rest she's going to pay off, like they said, monthly for 2 years. Number 2, calculate how much she paid for the bed on the hire purchase agreement. Okay, so how much did she pay towards this bed? So she paid the deposit plus 500 Rand for 2 years every month. So let's have a look how we calculate that. All right, so you're going to say, well, after that, after the deposit, please don't forget about the deposit. Lots of people think you just put that down, and that is something that you pay towards the bed already. Okay, so please remember that that needs to be added into your answer. So first of all, I worked out how much she paid for the 2 years, 500 Rand off for 2 years. Remember, 2 years has, a year has 12 months, so 2 years has 24 months. So 500 times 24 gives you 12,000 Rand that you paid towards this bed. That is what she paid off monthly. Please remember to add the deposit to that. Lots of you forget. You forget about the deposit. You say, you've given it already, it's done. But you have to add it because that's something that you paid towards the bed. So in total, what she paid for the bed was 13,050. Can you see that that is much more than the cash price? Because what is that much more? It is the interest that they charged on the bed that Claudia bought. And number 3 is they can ask you, calculate how much more she spent on the hire purchase agreement than actually paying for it cash. So you're going to say, what did she pay for it? She paid 13,050. What was the cash price? 10,500 Rand. So actually, how much did she pay more? She paid 2,500 Rand and 50 Rand. So 2,550 Rand more than the cash price. All right. And what is that actually? That is the interest that she paid on buying it on a hire purchase agreement. All right, number 4, and I'm going to leave you with this. Do you think that it's best to buy items on hire purchase agreements or rather to pay for it cash? Lots of you will say, oh, obviously cash. Okay, so if you've got 10,500, it's much better to pay that bed off cash or purchase it with a cash amount. But remember, lots of people don't have that amount, and the only option then they have is to buy it on hire purchase. And that gives them maybe a little bit more leeway. They only have to pay back 500 Rand. Although they do pay more for the bed, in the long run, maybe it saves them from burning themselves out with their cash. Okay, and let's have a look at a funky example.
I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas.
All right, Didi wanted to buy a fridge. She did not have the cash to pay for it, so she decided to buy it on the hire purchase option. Look at the following hire purchase agreement. So cash for that funky, nice, beautiful fridge is 24,500 Rand. And the hire purchase agreement, remember she does not have the cash, so she's going to go with the hire purchase agreement, which is 20% cash and thereafter 1,500 Rand a month for 2 years. So have a look at the questions and answer them. Mickey Michael wanted to buy an electric guitar to pursue his love for rock and roll, and he wants to run away with his band that he started in his garage called Garage Incorporated. He did not have cash to pay for it, so he decided to buy it using the hire purchase option. Let's have a look at that hire purchase agreement. Cash with that guitar held by Jimi Hendrix was 35,000 Rand. It's way more than 35,000 Rand, but let's just pretend. Okay, but remember, he did not have the cash, so he decided to go for the hire purchase agreement. So he has to put down 30% cash for the deposit, and thereafter he's going to pay a mere 1,000 Rand every month for the next 3 years. Have a look at the questions and do them. Have a great day, grade 10s. Cheerio!